With San Francisco wrapping up their first training camp practice with pads on, we finally got to see a lot of rookies in pads, and one player that really shocked me was CJ West, their 4th round pick out of Indiana. He reminds me of a player like DJ Jones, and today he was able to beat Dominic Pooney in one-on-ones. Personally, I think Dominic Pooney has the potential to be an all-pro guard, and right now it seems like San Francisco has hit on several of their defensive linemen. Still though, injuries continue to stack up as Jauan Jennings missed practice today with the calf injury he sustained yesterday. So in this video, I want to break down each one of those players, but every single position group, starting out with the quarterbacks. Initially starting out with Brock Purdy, he was extremely hot today. First, for instance, he found George Kittle with Mykel Williams right in his face. Kittle then found his way down the field on a 65-yard touchdown, but Purdy didn't stop there, also finding Ricky Pearsall with Fred Warner in coverage, and this was an excellent throw. He put it only where Ricky Pearsall could get it. Fred Warner could have nearly had the interception if this ball was placed just a little bit off. In a similar way later in practice, Purdy put it only where Russell Gage could get it on the sideline and picked up about 25 yards with the defender close in coverage. Later, Purdy then showed off his improviser ability. With Nick Bosa closing in on him, he was able to evade the sack and find Kyle Juszczyk deep down the sideline for about a 15-yard gain. So after Purdy announced the birth of his child, he had himself an absolute day and probably his best day of training camp so far. With that being said, Brock Purdy did have an interception on the day when he was targeting George Kittle. Pinnock tipped it up and D. Winters came down with it. Meanwhile, Mac Jones was pretty efficient on the day with probably his best throw coming to DeMarcus Robinson on the sideline. Meanwhile, San Francisco's second-year quarterback and third-string quarterback in Tanner Mordecai was able to connect with Jordan James, the rookie, and he exploded through contact after the catch and picked up a pretty massive gain on the play. I expect him to be a pretty solid rookie. Speaking of Jordan James, we need to talk about how San Francisco's running backs performed with pads on, and Jordan James, like I was mentioning, was solid. He's extremely aggressive with pads on, like we saw during his Oregon tape, but where I think he's impressed the most amount of people is just how solid his hands are. If you get close to him, he'll bring it down, and today we saw his ability after the catch. In a similar way, Corey Kiner showed off the same things he did with Cincinnati, an uncanny ability to break tackles. And maybe most importantly for San Francisco, Christian McCaffrey continues to look like the same back. Isaac Randall also has pretty nice speed, and while he did get hit a couple of times today, I do expect him to have a pretty solid season. Now though, moving into San Francisco's wide receivers, probably the biggest storyline so far in this camp has been the emergence of Russell Gage. Going into this camp, I didn't expect him to make the 53-man roster, but so far, all he's done is made plays, including that catch from Brock Purdy. It was a pretty incredible catch. Another free agent addition I expect to make a major impact on San Francisco's roster when he does see the field is DeMarcus Robinson. Today, with Jauan Jennings out, like we were mentioning earlier, he had several catches. He does a great job of creating separation in a similar way Ricky Pearsall does, who also had several catches today and seems to be a favorite target of Brock Purdy. In a similar way, Jordan Watkins continues to build up his chemistry with Purdy leading him open today on a scramble type of drill. Isaiah Nayer, San Francisco's undrafted free agent that comes in at 6'4", weighing 220 pounds and has a 4.4 40, also continued to make plays, having several catches on the day. It's also worth noting that Mac Jones was able to find Junior Bergen deep down the field in practice, so that does increase his chances of making San Francisco's 53-man roster, especially if he's able to grab onto the punt and kickoff return duties. Now moving into San Francisco's tight end spot, outside of George Kittle, I'm excited to see who solidifies himself as a true number 2 tight end for this team. Right now, it does appear like Luke Farrell probably has the upper hand, but I also like to see Braden Willis compete. Now moving into San Francisco's offensive line, today they have the disadvantage with San Francisco's defensive line routinely finding their way into the backfield, with Trent Williams being beat by Bosa like I was mentioning, and Dominic Pooney being beat by CJ West. With that being said, it wasn't all negative news, with Cole McKivitz holding up pretty nicely against Nick Bosa. Now moving into San Francisco's defensive line, like I was saying, I was extremely impressed with CJ West in one-on-one drills. He's extremely powerful, is low to the ground, and has extremely violent hands throughout the rep. When he was beating Pooney, for instance, both of them really weren't making all that much progress. Then he pulled out a swim move and was able to find his way into the backfield. Another impressive rookie is Alfred Collins. He's an extremely massive player, but he also possesses a rare combination of speed and power, and it will be interesting to see how this develops over this training camp and preseason period. As impressive as both of those rookies are though, the player who's probably going to have the most impact as a rookie is Mykel Williams, and he's been absolutely dominant this training camp. And it's not just been in one position, he's been an extremely dominant player as both a defensive tackle and a defensive end. In one-on-ones today, for instance, he showed off great power, length, and speed to routinely find his way into the backfield. He also continues to make plays during the team portion of practice. Today, for instance, he had several tackles, and I love the way Robert Saleh is using him. Like I was saying, he offers a ton of versatility. I mean, we've even seen him drop into coverage. On top of that, Bosa looks extremely solid this offseason. Already today, he was able to beat Trent Williams, for instance, got a sack on Brock Purdy, and nearly had another sack on him, but Purdy was able to evade it. Another veteran I don't think a lot of people are talking about is Evan Anderson. Today, he looked extremely explosive in one-on-ones, and I'm excited to see his development from one year to the next. Bryce Huff and Samuel Okuanu also had multiple plays on one-on-ones and during the team portion of drills, with Bryce Huff really showing off his speed that I think is going to be extremely impactful in NASCAR situations. Now moving back to San Francisco's linebackers, the most impressive player this camp in my opinion has been D. Winters. He's made plays all over the field, including a pick 6 on Brock Purdy, and today, once again, he was able to pick off Brock Purdy, with Purdy targeting Kittle over the middle. I mean, so far this offseason, it's really been like he's been processing at a different level. As soon as he sees a gap forming in the offensive line, for instance, he shoots it without hesitation and often gets it back down for a loss. Maybe my favorite part about D. Winters though, he's not just hitting these players, he's hitting them extremely violently. Today, for instance, he absolutely demolished Isaac Grindo. Now moving into San Francisco's secondary, I've been saying it since the start of camp, but Upton Stout will be San Francisco's starting nickelback come week 1. Today, for instance, in coverage on San Francisco's former first-round pick in Ricky Pearsall, he read Brock Purdy's eyes and was able to break up the pass, but he didn't only impress in his coverage like he's done so far in camp. He also showed his prowess as a run defender. He had several stops on the day, including a stop on San Francisco's second year back in Isaac Grindo inside the box. So even though he's a smaller player, coming in right around 5'8", weighing 185 pounds, I think he has the ability to see a lot of success in Robert Saleh's defense. I mean, he has a lot of success with these smaller DBs, whether you look at DJ Reed or a player like Juan Williams. Maybe San Francisco's most surprising DB though is the undrafted free agent Jacob Robinson out of BYU. So far in camp, he's had multiple pass breakups on multiple days, including today. So he could make San Francisco's 53-man roster as a rookie. Another player in the secondary who's continued to impress is Jason Pinnock. Today, for instance, he broke up that pass from Brock Purdy over the middle that led to D. Winters' interception. But ultimately, these are just some players that stood out to me in San Francisco's first training camp practice, and I want to hear your thoughts down below if you're there, who really stood out to you, and it would really mean a ton if you did enjoy this video to go ahead and like and subscribe. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.